Hey guys, so this week is another drawing based off of the YouTube Artist Collective, and this month's theme was Ice Fantasy. And as I said before, I'm not an official member or anything. So the theme Ice Fantasy, the first thing that came to my mind was, something like an ice queen, basically, and I feel like that's probably something that would come to a lot of people's minds, and I really kind of wanted to fight against that because I felt like it was just too obvious of a thing for at least me personally to do. I felt like I need to come up with something, I don't know, something that would be a little bit more interesting for me to work on. So I typed into Pinterest just ice, I think, and a lot of different really interesting things came up, and there were so many elements that I really wanted to do, but I still had a hard time coming up with a composition and a concept and just an idea, even though I had all these elements that I wanted to put in the drawing. For example, one thing was see ice bubbles. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I saw pictures of those and I thought they were really cool. And I did have one concept that I very quickly scrapped, but it was gonna be I don't know, some girl kind of it's really morbid, which is why I didn't go with it, but some girl just kind of under the ice with these ice bubbles and stuff like that, and she would have a frozen bouquet. I don't know, like I said, it was kind of morbid and I wanted to go with something a little bit lighter. And again, just, I don't know, it felt And, something that I saw a lot of was, frozen over plants, where the ice just sort of encased it. And this was something that I really wanted to incorporate somehow, but I still had a hard time figuring out how I was going to do it. That and iced roses, which I did sort of manage to put a little bit of that in here, but not as much as what I was originally going to. So yeah, I found these pictures where the ice was just encasing these fruit trees and things like that, and they were creating these icicles down, and I just thought it was really pretty, and it kind of made me think fantasy, right? And so I was going to do a bust shot of just a woman, and she was gonna have a flower crown, but the roses were gonna be frosted, and there were going to be these branches of cherries or whatever they are, and the icicles and stuff. And I felt like I still needed something just a little bit more interesting, and something a little bit more to the fantasy side. And I don't know what made me think of it, but I decided to maybe make her a deer girl, and to zoom out the camera, so to speak. And I thought about putting a cardinal in there, because cardinals, they use them a lot in those winter Christmas cards and things like that, and photography. And I've always wanted to draw a red cardinal, but I've never gotten around to doing it. And something else I saw on Pinterest that I thought was really neat were these ice lanterns that from what I understand, people make from having water balloons, and then popping the balloons while the while the water's like only like half frozen or something like that, and they put a candle. I don't know. I've never tried it, obviously, but I thought it looked cool, and I thought it would be an interesting thing to put in here. So, one of the more interesting things about this was the multicolored line art, and I did that with a light blue col-erase pencil, a rose, and a lavender one. And boy, did that take a long time to do. It really did. It took a long time. Plus, I ended up going over a lot of the lines later on because they kind of got lost under the watercolor. But I really, really like the effect. Like, I think it's just really pretty. I don't know. I feel like I'm probably going to be doing more of it in the future. It just adds like a lot of like color, and it creates this very soft look. I don't know. I just think it looks really nice. I don't know what it is. I think it must be the paper or something, or maybe there's just something I'm doing wrong. But, and I don't even really think you could see it in the video, but whenever I would lay down some color, like, not all the time, but a lot of the time, I got this really weird texture, like, going on the paper. Like, I don't even quite know how to explain it, but it felt like the water was just kind of beating on the paper. I don't know, like, it was just this very strange texture, and it made sometimes putting down the color kind of hard to control. I'm not quite up to this point yet, but I start adding in like a forest kind of in the back after like on top of like the color wash I laid down, and I really like how this looked. I was originally just going to leave it like this with just the color wash, but I kind of wanted this sense that the forest went back farther. Okay, see, I'm starting it now. That the forest just kind of went back further, and kind of helped close off the composition a little bit as well. And I just kind of like the colors, like how I kind of did the colors. I'm not really quite sure exactly how to explain my color choices, but I like how it looks. And I wanted to keep that yellow like very mainly behind her to kind of have her stand out, and for like, you know, lighting. Oh, okay. Here I actually finally zoomed in the camera when I was thickening up the lines around her face. And this is something I always want to do, but I always forget to do, is to actually zoom in whenever I'm doing the face, especially whenever something's a little bit more, like the face would be more zoomed out, like in something like this. And like I said, I never remember, but I'm glad I did this time. So you can actually see what I'm doing. Something that I really like about this is the very soft look, and just how the colors work with each other. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Christmas card, like those very soft looking ones. I don't know, that's what I think of anyway. And as you can see, I did incorporate like at least one frosted rose. Getting the icicles to look like icicles, I think, was kind of difficult. I kept wondering if I was really doing it right, but I don't think it looks bad, so... Anyway, this was really fun for me to draw, really, and I thought it was something a little bit different. It was a very different process, which for me, I like to switch up my process somewhat often to keep myself from like getting bored personally. And so this was just like fun to do, and I liked how it turned out and everything. It was long to do, but I think it was definitely worth it to have those multicolored lines. Well, that's about all I have to say for this piece. I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video, and like, comment, and subscribe if you liked it and all that stuff. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!